A Democrat facing major blowback over her gun grab. A federal judge issuing a temporary restraining order gutting key parts of New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham's 30-day ban on carrying firearms in public places. And this is just the beginning of her headache. The state's Democrat Attorney General said he's going to refuse to represent her office in the cases, citing his oath to the Constitution. Ow. And the sheriff, who oversees the county where she wants the gun ban, flat out says he's not going to enforce it.
The temporary ban challenges the foundations of our Constitution, but most importantly, it is unconstitutional. My oath was to protect the Constitution, and that is what I will do. This order will not do anything to curb gun violence other than punish law-abiding citizens from their constitutional right to self-defense. I have a fact for you. Criminals do not follow the law or a public health order.
But it looks like the liberal governor doesn't care what her critics say.
My question to law enforcement is, where are you? It's not for police to tell me what's constitutional or not. They haven't supported not one gun violence effort in the state of New Mexico, including domestic violence protections, universal background checks.
Greg, what do you call when you say you want to do something and everybody just runs away?
Let's go watch Jesse Waters' show.
Yes.
I love this. Two things. These are physical. I can do this. The sheriff has the best bald head I've ever seen in my life. If I lose my hair, I want that head. Grisham's got crazy eyes. It's pretty clear. We now have 6 different lawsuits. Now I like lawyers.
What?
And I hate to like lawyers. That's like when someone gives you a veggie burger and it kind of tastes good. And you're like, what happened? Grisham might have just given New Mexico to Trump. You know, I mean, this was such a misstep. Again, it's another case where the Democrats, who often confuse the Republicans and libertarians and everybody else of doing things that they do. In this case, it was like stealing your rights. They're actually guilty of. You see that with the First Amendment, banning books, speech. It's progressives. The Second Amendment here, your rights to living a life as a parent. It's all coming from the progressives. So again, the so-called constitutional crisis that you keep hearing about on the right is an illusion, but on the left, it's a reality, which is why I always salute Tulsi for leaving the party. And it's really important, because you can tell all the people that are kind of moving away from there are getting targeted, whether it's Tulsi or RFK Jr. or Russell Brand. Did you see Russell Brand talking about Trump the other day? That was insane. And you have other great people out there, Elon Musk, Joe Rogan. They're all being targeted because they realize that their rights are being encroached upon.
I appreciate the fact that you're making comments about people's physical characteristics.
I think I learned that from you.
I think it's about time we all joined together at the table to do that. Tulsi, you were just mentioned.
Yes.
Is this going to make people, Democrats, walk away from the Democratic Party?
I think we're seeing it happening in real time here. When you have the Democrat Attorney General, you have the sheriff, you even have the ACLU there in New Mexico coming out against what this governor has done. I think it's very telling of the direction that we're headed in. You know, one thing that I thought of, and I know Governor Grisham, we served together in Congress, in the military, both in training and in combat, leaders are tested. That when you're in a situation under pressure, will you think clearly? Will you be able to make decisions and still execute the mission? She's clearly under pressure, but she is acting frantically and nonsensically, basically saying literally, well, somebody's got to do something, and I am doing something. I am taking bold action without any thought for, okay, well, what does the Constitution of the United States say? What does the Constitution of her own state say? Both. She's violating both with this so-called public health emergency that she's ordered, and even admitted to a local reporter who said, hey, will criminals abide by your temporary ban? She said no. She sees it. It's insane.
Dana, did she just light her political future on fire?
I think that she thought she was giving it a real boost, and instead what she has done is basically set the anti-gun movement back by a lot. So she's extremely unpersuadable. If you have the ACLU saying, yeah, you're crazy, that is probably not very good for you. The other thing is, to Tulsi's point, she didn't even talk to anybody in the state beforehand. So now she's at odds with her own attorney general and the police. And now she's flailing around saying, but why isn't anybody else doing something? So I think that she had the intention of saying, wow, I'm going to get to the left of Gavin Newsom. Like, they all see the writing on the wall. They think that Joe Biden's not going to make it. So they're trying to figure out, how can I get some attention? Ooh. And what is the issue that will help me get attention? And they also have a very big and bad problem in New Mexico on crime. But it's not the legal gun owners who are causing that problem. Right. It's the fact that they're not prosecuting the crimes and getting people put in prison.
How bad does it have to get when the attorney general says, we aren't going to defend the governor?
I'm not going to defend you, Madam Governor. The good news about this whole thing is everyone disagrees with her. Yeah. And the shocking part of it is that she is an attorney. Yeah. And it stuns me that she doesn't understand what it takes to, to change a constitutional amendment. Okay, that it takes, what, 2/3 of that, both houses of Congress, or 3/4 of the ratification of the states. I mean, it doesn't even occur to her. And then she's out there trashing the police. The police haven't supported not one of my legal law enforcement efforts. And it's stunning to me. And the police go out there every day, Michelle, and put their lives on the line, and you want to trash them? Yep. And you don't really care that the illegals aren't, the guys with illegal guns aren't going to listen to you, and you don't expect them to listen to you. And in fact, a federal judge has just put a hold on the whole thing. Judge David Urias issued a temporary restraining order prohibiting key parts of the New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham's public health order declaring gun violence a public health emergency. I mean, it's real clear to a judge in a minute that this is unconstitutional. I think it's the end of her career if she thinks that, people respect people who just don't understand the law or don't understand the system. She doesn't understand her own system. And if you can create an exception to the Constitution on any health emergency, you can just create an emergency to get rid of one of the amendments.
You sure can. All right. Up next, the COVID lab leak cover-up gets even worse. A whistleblower makes an explosive claim about CIA agents and bribery.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.